That's a shitty clip. Okay. Come on, act like you got some testicles. All right.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That would hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
Hi, it is Wrestling, Barstool's professional wrestling podcast, hosted by me, Brandon Walker, and we have a cavalcade of AEW interviews this week. And we had Eddie Kingston talking real shit. We had Ricky Starks doing whatever the hell that was Ricky Starks did. We had Orange Cassidy acting like a house cat. But guys, when I started wrestling December of 2019, 2019? Sometime in the past. 2020, right? Who knows when I started the damn thing. When I started wrestling a year ago, I wanted to interview a couple of people, and they're sitting right here. Ooh. It is FTR, the current, right there. You want to introduce the belts?
Nope.
Please.
Well, before you introduce, I got a little beef with you.
You got beef with me?
Yeah. So I listened to
That's a surprise.
That's a surprise. I don't like somebody. So, you said there were a couple of guys you wanted to interview when you started this, and we were those couple of guys. I listened to your interview with Adam Cole, and the first thing you said to him was the one guy that I wanted to interview, the one guy that I had to have was Adam Cole. I don't like playing second fiddle to anybody.
You're right.
It kind of pisses me off.
You're
a
right.
little bit, my friend.
You're right. But he's a guy. He's a singles guy. I have been geeking out about getting you in these two chairs, talking tag team wrestling, and just getting lost in that world.
I understand that, but I think we should have been your first choice. Adam Cole is your second choice. That's just my opinion. Of course, I have my own value of us and what we are.
Do you have Adam Cole's number? I'll text him.
Hell no, dude.
I'll text him and I'll tell him that I was lying to him.
He's the EVP's favorite guy.
Just tweet it to him. He'll see it.
Guys, I know I had somebody before, but you guys are the most important ones.
Okay,
anything that came before didn't matter.
See, that's all I wanted to hear.
That's what I have to tell my wife
got it
every
on
night.
camera.
I believe it.
Got it on camera, so it's documented and it's proof. These are the AAA Tag Team Champions.
Yes.
We just came back from Mexico. We just landed back from Mexico a couple of days ago from defending these belts in a ladder match, Jesus Christ, against the Lucha Bros. And, of course, we won. Probably the most hated men in the country of Mexico now, along with Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah, the amount of garbage thrown at us.
Ooh.
And I mean,
maybe cups of piss.
Beer, urine,
got spat
who
on.
knows, a bag of chips, somebody threw this hat.
Is there a moment though, like so you're in that environment, right, and you've heard the legends about cups of piss being thrown on people? Is there a moment where you feel something warm, you're like, oh fuck, they threw piss at me? That's awesome.
Well, I mean, you can't really tell because it was an outside arena, and so they have cups of beer and everything's warm. They don't care; they're drinking it. You know what I mean?
Well,
so they probably don't even know if it's piss.
I will say I was very relieved. There's like a
piss relieved. I like that.
Nice. I got you. But like when the beer, I'm sure it was beer that hit me because it was so cold. My first thought was, okay, at least that's beer. And then you could smell the beer.
Right.
But like the fact that it wasn't warm was a relief for me.
That's nice, yeah. So these AAA tag team belts, these are very weathered. You said before we started these from 1994. So have they had these FTR stickers since 1994? Did you guys?
I probably wish they did in 1994.
Have you guys editorialized it all here?
They look like they belong there, but these are actually just something we've done recently to kind of spruce them up a little bit.
My thinking was there's an old way to do Lucha Libre and there's a new way. And the new way is with us. Old way to do Lucha Libre sucks. The Lucha Bros, they suck. Their style of wrestling sucks. Lucha Libre in general across the last few years, the last few decades have sucked. And we're planning to upgrade Lucha Libre. And what better way than to just call it FTR?
Way to start right there with these sweet nameplates.
FTR, that's the name of your tag team. But then you've got Living Legends. That's a bit much, don't you think?
Do you think so?
That seems like it's just...
Do you want to run down our list of accolades? Do you want me to?
Well, I haven't checked.
Because I'll tell you right now, we're the only tag team, and I'll mention the other company because I don't give a damn. We're the only tag team in the history of professional wrestling to hold the WWE Raw tag team titles, the WWE SmackDown tag team titles, the WWE NXT tag team titles, AEW World Tag Team titles, the AAA tag team titles. We won Match of the Year. We won Tag Team of the Year. We were the #1 rated tag team for 2020 in PWI the first time ever. So you tell me, are we living legends or are you know?
How long did it take you to memorize all that?
Oh, dude. If it's putting myself over or putting
Not
myself
long at all.
I do have to resist the urge of just sitting here and talking tag teams with you guys, and I'm going to get into it a little bit. But I just want to take 5 minutes. Let's dive into that world, then we'll dive back out and we'll talk about everything that's going on in AEW, everything that's going on in your careers, and shit like that, stuff like that. Excuse me.
Let's do it.
What do you guys consider? And please, resist the urge to put yourself over here and say whenever you wrestle. I know that's going to be your answer. Let's pretend you guys didn't exist.
Okay.
What would you consider the golden age of tag team wrestling before you guys came around?
Oh my gosh.
You want me to throw one at you and then you can bounce off of it, or
I'm gonna go mid '80s to early to mid '90s.
Can I request a high five?
Yeah.
It's like 86 to like 94.
Yeah. I would. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean,
As far as the amount of active great tag teams in that era, that from any promotion across any part of the country,
Sure.
I would say that would have to be it. As far as like Brainbusters, Rock and Roll, Heart Foundation, Midnights, Fantastics, Rockers, like Nasty Boys, even because we've said before, like their stuff for a time period they were great workers. Like it wasn't until they were later on that it was more of just
the garbage style.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason in the mid '90s, something happened where wrestling focused on solely, individual superstars. For some reason, I don't know why that happened, because tag team was a proven draw for so long, man.
Road Warriors.
And like
Bulldogs. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
on
there's
and
so
on and
many
on.
you can throw out
Demolition we
there.
haven't mentioned.
Right, and I mean, obviously the Rock and Roll Express, probably the biggest drawing tag team of all time, as far as longevity goes.
Yeah.
For some reason, the mid '90s. The professional wrestling scene switched to strictly individual wrestlers. Even as they came together for tag team.
A lot of those great tag teams split up and went into singles stars, like Sean and Brett and a couple others that were part of such great tag teams, and then they just kind of used that to transition to the next part. And I think that a lot of those teams, once like the Brainbusters were gone and Brett and Sean went singles, and some like Road Warriors were out at that point, there were no tag teams on standby ready to take that spot.
Hell, there's a world that exists, an alternate universe, where Steve Austin becomes one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. Hollywood Blondes in '93. If he had done that the rest of his career, he would have been one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. Of course, he went on to be the biggest star in the history of the business.
And his style when he was Stunning Steve in the Blondes was so different than when he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's just, he could do it all. But yeah, he would have been one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time, if not the.
Now let's transition a little bit to modern day. I was on the internet last week. Y'all ever heard of it? The internet's it's awesome.
Yeah, that's not.
Is that the World Wide Web?
Yeah, that's where I do my shopping there. I maintain poor credit there. It's just I do everything there. I was looking at the internet last week, specifically Twitter.com. And there were two angry guys. One was sitting on like the tailgate of a truck. One looked kind of homeless, and they were very mad at you guys. What happened with that?
I mean, we have a lot of.
It took me a minute. I was like,
we have a lot of homeless guys that are mad at us.
Yeah, I was trying to think of people from my hometown. I was like,
I was like, that could be my brothers, that could be my cousins.
Yeah, I saw that too.
You saw that?
I saw that too.
What's going on with that?
I don't know, but I thought it was funny because they like to use a lot of colorful language, and that's the thing. They think it's going to get them over with the internet and with the fans, and they think, oh, I'm a great promo, so I'm going to say, can we say those words or no? I don't know.
Yeah, please. No,
we can
everything.
Say, oh man, we can say, let's say fuck and shit and god damn it. Let's say it all so we can get a rise out of people.
I love saying those words.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big advocate of that, because if those are the words you got to say to drum up a response from people, then you have no creativity. You know what I'm saying? That means let's take the easy way out and let's just say fucking shit.
I just thought it was funny. He said tired of the Twitter bullshit, and then they posted it to
Twitter.com.
Twitter. So,
these guys, they have like a rough image and a rough look, and they've always played the big fish in the small pond kind of thing, and they've got a reputation for being these tough guys. And we're kind of laid back North Carolinians, but I tell you, I promise to God in heaven, as he's watching over me right now, if they ever step to me, I promise you we'll beat the shit out of them. And I did say shit because it's not a promo, so I don't care about being creative. We'll beat the shit out of them.
Are you saying that people that have to use shit and fuck and those cuss words are not as talented?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying.
All right. Also, I know that you're North Carolinians.
Yes.
I don't think you're very laid back.
You don't think so?
I'm gonna say
You're not that laid back. I'm laid back. I'm from Mississippi. That's like the North Carolina of the South. I am laid back. Also, Asheville's not really North Carolina.
What?
Asheville's.
it is like an
Well,
island.
Asheville's like heaven.
It is like an island in the Carolinas.
Yeah, it's What a great spot. It's fantastic.
Oh, dude, yeah,
Beautiful.
you got to move there. Come move in with me.
I can't afford that.
Everybody
Dude,
that's
come
watching
move with
this,
me,
go
yeah.
hang out in Nashville, get some coffee, get some beer, get some food.
That's how you
4,000
start.
square foot house.
That's what you start with. Get some
Yeah.
coffee. I can get coffee anywhere.
Nah, not Asheville coffee.
Asheville
Oh,
coffee?
this place called Summit. Oh my God, I tried my best to buy this coffee shop, but
Why
this
is-
is the best coffee in the world.
Why is every store that's in a mountain town named like it's on the side of a mountain?
Well, that's-
Everything's the summit.
Easy
Everything's the
marketing.
plateau. Everything's
I mean,
this.
it's going to be weird if they name it like a beachy thing,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Like,
yeah, I guess you
Or
can't.
flat terrain coffee.
Yeah.
coffee in the sun.
Yeah, the desert coffee just doesn't flow as well.
You're making me crazy.
Arctic.
So this feud with the Lucha Brothers. You guys did wrestle at the last. You've got these.
Yes.
They have the AEW Tag
Yes,
Team Championships.
unfortunately.
You guys wrestled at the last Full Gear, I believe.
Yep.
And it was great, but it kind of felt like when it ended, it didn't feel like finished business. Is that accurate?
It wasn't finished business because I was the illegal guy.
Mm-hmm.
They should not have been allowed to pin me. Shouldn't have ended the match. Should have been him legal. Kept going. Never should
Point
have
out
ended
though
like
that you
that.
willingly got in the ring, right?
Well, yeah, but he's a wrestler. And
That's true. He
willingly
wants to
get in the
wrestle.
ring is
He
what we're
wants to
supposed
fight.
do.
He wants. I'm sorry.
They,
Excuse
they
me.
were both in there multiple times also. I couldn't just pin the illegal guy
God
because
forbid the
they're
referee
in the
take
ring.
control of a Lucha Bros match.
But we were supposed to settle it. 2 out of 3 falls, and then Phoenix pulls lame. Like, what happened?
Got that again.
He can't wrestle on a Friday, but he can wrestle on a Saturday? And then
Yeah.
he loses on a Saturday. So what would happen on Friday?
And then an injured Phoenix gets replaced by an injured Pac.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
You know,
Pirate
I get it.
Bastard Pac. Come on. He
I-
couldn't wrestle Friday, but he could wrestle Saturday. He lost Saturday. What would have happened Friday?
And then we won Friday as well, so we should be the AEW World Tag Team Champions. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean,
Pin Pac clean.
I'm not
Pat-
gonna lie to you guys. The evidence you're presenting is pretty damning.
How many times have they pinned us?
Once
Once. And who would they pin?
they pinned you, the illegal man.
And how many times have we beat them? When we were champions, before we were champions, the 8-man tag a couple of weeks ago, the match last week, winning the AAA tag team titles from them and defending them in Mexico on their home
Just let us
turf.
rebook the territory, brother. Right
As
here.
we saved the entire concept of Lucha Libre wrestling. It's a lot to bear, but
Can I just say an observation about you specifically, and probably both of you? I feel like you rebook the territory every night you get in the car.
Oh my God, dude!
I feel like you book the territory
wouldn't even know,
every
dude.
single hour of every day,
You
whatever.
wouldn't even know.
You book territories you're not in.
So I start off by burying people.
Right,
As soon as
yeah.
the stuff's over, I'm really upset and I'm mad or whatever. So I'm burying whoever we're working with, or maybe something I've seen in the back. I bury that, and then I say, you know what would be better
Right.
if we won. That would be better. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it would be better if we were in there, if we were getting the TV time, but
Yeah.
we're not. So this is what I would do, and I start writing it down. And by the end of it, we're the tag team champions over and over.
It's weird how that happens, though. You guys always do end up with the
Yeah,
tag team belts. Are you
yeah.
like that too? Do you rebook the territory in your spare time, or do you just like text him like get him started?
Actually, he texted me to calm me down.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk as a fan. Now that I got you guys, the greatest tag team in the world, sitting here looking at me, I want to ask you a question. When you guys wrestled the Young Bucks for the titles last year, and they won the titles from you, I thought that we were going to see a long run of like midnights and rock and rolls where they kept circling back, kept wrestling, and it was great every time. But it didn't lead to an immediate rivalry. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. You have to ask me.
I mean,
you don't.
the
you
deers
ask
be
me.
running.
That's what we thought too. We
running
thought
like
it
a
was
John
gonna be-
Deere.
But wouldn't that be a great gift to fans to give them an FTR Young Bucks match every 2 months, every month, something like that?
Or just do it in front of fans. I mean, we did it in front of 1,000 fans, and when the match was over, dude, I cannot explain to you the emotions that went through me. I was like, man, we did it, and we had 1,000 fans there, and they actually, I could feel their emotions because finally their heroes had won the championships from us, and I think they thought, well, we saw who the greatest tag team of all time was, and maybe we saw the greatest tag match of all time. So we thought there were going to be multiple matches as well, and then there was a train that completely stopped all that.
Well, how does the train get going again?
I don't know.
Can we get the train started again?
Maybe we become best friends with a billionaire. Maybe that's how the train gets started. I don't know.
I mean, maybe
Okay, well-
I'm going to negotiate EVP status into my next
Yeah.
contract.
If that's the path, you want to become best friends with a billionaire, I'm right here.
Yeah. You want to start a promotion?
But
I'm just,
If you ask me-
billionaire is the I don't have a lot of money.
if you ask me though, like
Very poor.
no matter how much like we wanted the immediate rematch because
Right.
we don't like losing, especially
Yeah.
not to those guys. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. Like,
Right.
and we've learned like we waited a long time to have that first match. We know how to be patient when it comes to this, and we know that when you boil it all down and you take it all away and you strip it down to just who is the better team, they know that we are, and they hate that, and they're going to avoid that at all costs, and they don't want to be seen even remotely in the same area as, because it's going to expose them. But to your point, it is going to be a midnight, or it's going to be a rock and roll Midnight Express type thing. We're going to have some rematches. We're going to probably have rematches for the next couple of decades. But people
Obviously,
are going to
he's
know.
way nicer than I am. You know what I'm saying?
No, people are going to know. Like,
Well, that's what he told me when he walked in.
Right.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that.
But ultimately, it's like with your job. If you're, if this is your career path, and Barstool hires someone else to come in just to maybe help as a co-host.
What have you heard?
No, I haven't heard anything yet. But if someone did hire, if Barstool hired a co-host, and they sat him in the exact same chair right beside you, and he talked a little more than you, and he was getting a little your rave reviews, you'd kind of feel a little uneasy as well. And that's what I think happened with them. Our styles are different, and they're great in their own right. We're great in our own right, but I feel like the fans know, and it upsets them a little bit, that we're just that much better than they are.
That being said, the Bucks and FTR haven't wrestled as much as I, as a fan, would like to see that. But there is, when it comes to tag teams out there, there's kind of an embarrassment of riches in AEW. I mean, there's a lot of guys for you guys to get in there and tangle with. The Lucha Brothers has been entertaining, on and on and on. Great tag team, great tag team, great tag team. This is the environment you want to be in, right? An environment where you've got a tag team rich atmosphere. It's got to be satisfying to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we fought for.
Yeah.
This is what we begged for years and years and years. And I think ultimately this is why we bet on ourselves, because this is what we wanted. We wanted to be surrounded by great tag teams, to be able to leave a legacy and have great tag matches, but also just put tag team wrestling back on the map. That's kind of what we wanted to do, and I feel like we're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year and a half, and we've had some matches that I've loved, and that some of my favorites that we've ever had, like the Sting and Darby stuff, the Young Bucks stuff.
Right.
And there's still so much left that we can do here. Like there's Private Party, who's a team that we think has a ton of potential and we want to work with, like in a long program. Same with Top Flight when Darius is ready to return. Like Top Flight, they're so young, but they're so good. Mm-hmm. Those guys we want to work with. We're not finished with Proud and Powerful yet. We're one-on-one with those guys. We split that, and they split this. Yeah. So like there's so much we still want to run back. We still got the rematch with the Young Bucks.
Is that thing ever going to be fully healthy again? Is that thing right?
I don't ask it. I don't know. It's got a mind of its own at this point.
That's an arm. I can't ask an arm.
Well, that's the only answer you're going to get, because I'm still wondering. But
although I do talk dirty to this one something. Okay, so
gross, dude. It's disgusting.
Oh, what? Who said that? We should probably.
That is disgusting.
Should cut
but
that.
it's an embarrassment of riches. It's an embarrassment of riches. Though. There's so many.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Just
so many good matches left to have.
The intricate double teams that you guys do. When do you think of them?
See, I don't think, maybe you haven't watched our matches.
Not double teams. The intricate moves and changes.
Yes, the intricacies.
The intricacies of the matches, because you guys do things that are chained together and that are that lead to one another things. Double teams was the wrong thing to say. You're right. Yes. But how do you think of that shit?
Dude, honestly, I'm just the biggest nerd in the world as far as wrestling goes. And that's what I think makes tag team wrestling so special and so different and so unique from singles wrestling and all other types of wrestling are the nuances and the intricacies. I think somewhere along the way things got lost. Let's hit as many moves as we can, as many cool double teams as we can, and that's what makes a great tag team. But it's not, man. It's just how you can work together with your opponent and or with your partner. I'm sorry, and how you can make these seamless intricacies work to your favor.
Yeah.
And the way that I do it is just I study my opponents. I study so much wrestling, and I say, how can we utilize this?
Right.
And how can we put this in our match and take these people on an emotional ride without doing the typical thing that gets over nowadays, which is the 1, 2,
Sure,
how can we change things up, make them feel a certain way?
I never say the O part.
Oh yeah, well everyone else does.
Good.
I don't.
But the best thing is going off that is if you can make the fans say 1, 2, 3, 5.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? That's what you want. You don't want them to play along.
What's the weirdest place you guys have tested out moves and stuff? Have you ever been like at dinner and you're like, we should do this? You ever done that, or is it just something?
We'll always say like, hey, we should try something like this. But like as far as like testing out a move, I don't think we've ever.
You never stopped dinner and just stood up and done, well, you are partners. Why would you do the move against each other?
We're just like, hey, let's try it out, see it out there.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
All right.
We're to the point now where we trust ourselves enough that we're not going to try anything so ridiculous that we can't hit it without practicing.
So I could sit here and talk to you guys about tag team wrestling for 3-4 hours. We only had a 30-minute window. We're right up against it, so I'm going to ask you guys one more question. I'm going to let you get out of here because I know y'all got to go to UBS Arena tonight and take care of business. 2022. I know 2021 has had some ups and downs, and you ended up you have these now. You want the other belts too. You want to keep these, I'm sure. You want the other belts too. What's 2022 hold for FTR?
I think we're going to be the first ever 2-time AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Sure.
In 2022, we're going to get the titles back. We're going to have the title run that we should have had the first time, where we are world beaters, 6-time, 8-time, whatever. We'll defend it every time we get in the ring, but
Right.
we're never going to lose those again. Rematch with the Young Bucks, beat the shit out of the Briscoes, hold titles everywhere.
Is that who they were?
Yeah.
The Briscoes?
Yeah.
We just.
Oh, those home. Okay, all right.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I'm talking about those are just guys I want to beat up.
No, we're talking
anyway.
about Jack and Jerry.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I
It's
think-
so fun to beat up old people.
I think ultimately for 2022, for me specifically, a legacy is something that I've wanted to leave, and I talk about it all the time in my interviews and stuff, or our interviews. Ultimately, that's what I want to do, is continue to build on the legacy.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that I can't do things like Ray Phoenix or Nick Jackson or
Sure.
whatever, and I can't. We because of my limitations, we can't have the athletic matches that they can. But proving that we are there's a difference between having great tag team matches and being a great tag team. And I think 2022 going forward, just proving that we are, we can be in that same conversation with Arn and Tully, Midnight
Sure.
Express, Rock and Roll Express. That's my goal for 2022, because we don't have very much longer with, on these current contracts. I don't know, what's going to happen from there, but we have a short amount of time to accomplish things we want to accomplish, like winning the IWGP Tag Team Championships, obviously 2-time AEW Tag Team Championships, proving that we were the best. We're the only tag team in the world who has the resume that we have as far as of great talent we've worked with. I mean, New Day, Usos,
Right.
American Alpha, DIY, all the way down to Young Bucks, Proud and Powerful, Lucha Bros, SCU. We're the only team that can lay claim to that, lay claim to all those accolades.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to add to that, build tag team wrestling, but selfishly, more importantly, I want to show the world that we are the definition. We are at the core of it. We are the art of tag team wrestling.
Very well said. Also, my contract's up pretty soon too. If you guys want to go in together.
Oh yeah, Barstool.
Yeah, we'll figure some deals out.
Yeah, if you maybe we can get you up to.
I mean, we already say wrestling anyway, so.
Yeah,
Do y'all like the name?
Yeah, dude. As
Dude,
long as you're not making fun of us.
Some people don't like. Well, I'm from the South too. Some people don't like the name. The very first interview I ever had, the very first person was Stone Cold Steve Austin. He said, "Hey man, I love that name." Done.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah. So who cares?
It's never.
As long as you're not making fun of the southern accent, I love it.
I grew up watching Continental Wrestling out of Alabama.
Oh, baby.
I watched them. I watched Memphis, Channel 5 out of there. Anyway, we could again talk.
Dude,
let's go.
My iPad. I've got all this Continental
Yeah.
Memphis stuff on
I
it.
want
dude.
the DVDs, but you don't buy DVDs.
I got them. I got 2 books full like this. I'm sitting
got
with
a portable
Conrad
DVD
Thompson.
player.
Conrad Thompson's going to get them, and he's going to get one of his guys to put them on a Google Drive for me, and I'll send them right to you.
Yes, we're going to talk afterwards.
Yeah.
This is the greatest tag team in the world, and this is the greatest professional wrestling podcast in the world. This is Wrestling.